The death of a man hit by a Frontier jet over the weekend has been ruled a suicide. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sam Shocker. The medical examiner made that announcement this morning. The man climbed a fence and got inside the perimeter at Denver International Airport before he walked onto a runway. DIA officials and Denver's police revealed other details during a news conference this morning. 9 News reporter Kevin Vaughn was there. He is live now with those details. Kevin, what have you learned?
Yeah, Sam, we've learned much more about the background of the man who died, and we've also learned how close this came to being a much more serious situation. It took the 41-year-old about 15 seconds to scale an 8-foot fence topped with barbed wire. Roughly 2 minutes later, he was dead. Court documents show that he has an arrest record going back to the early 2000s. Twice in recent years, he had cases dismissed because he was mentally incompetent to go to trial. That means he could not understand the proceedings or assist in his own defense. The plane's pilots were moments away from taking off, but were able to stop the damaged jet, and the injuries suffered by a dozen passengers occurred during the evacuation.
The actions of the Frontier pilot and crew were exceptional, and this could have been far worse. And so we are indebted to their professionalism, and we have communicated that.
There are still a lot of things we don't know. For example, Denver Police Chief Ron Thomas told us today they still don't know how this man got to the fence on the east side of the airport. It's about 2 miles from the main terminal where I am now. They searched that area, they didn't find a car or a bicycle, and at this point have no idea how he got out there late Friday night. We'll have much more on this story on 9 News this afternoon. Reporting live at Denver International Airport, I'm Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
Yeah, Kevin, a lot of unanswered questions, and we know that as soon as you learn them, you'll let us know, and we will touch base with you later today. Kevin Vaughn, thank you. Remember, if you're struggling, there is always help available. Colorado Crisis Services has counselors available 24/7 if you need someone to talk to. Their numbers on your screen. You can also reach the National Suicide and Crisis Line by dialing 988. A teenager is being charged with the shooting of an 86-year-old woman in Commerce City last night. Police say she was in her car and caught in crossfire. They believe 19-year-old Jeremiah Herrera was shooting across the intersection of 60th and Monaco when a bullet hit the woman. She is expected to survive, luckily. Herrera was expected in court for his first hearing this morning. And a driver hit a 75-year-old bicyclist north of Boulder and then drove off. Officials say a light blue Ford Bronco hit the man along Highway 36 near Nelson Road around 11 yesterday morning. The elderly victim suffered serious injuries and was taken to the hospital. Officials say the Ford Bronco may have damage on the front passenger side. Anyone who sees the car or has any information is asked to call CSP. A wildland fire that broke out yesterday near Loveland is under control, but Berthoud Fire says crews stayed overnight to monitor hotspots. There were evacuation orders for the Sedona Hills fire, but they were lifted by 8:30 last night. It did burn about 12 acres near Carter Lake. 10 agencies plus a helicopter were used to get it under control. Berthoud Fire says it popped up on a slope, making it even more difficult to fight. And then, of course, the winds and dry conditions there did not help. We talked to one homeowner who said this was the third time in recent memory that he's had to evacuate because of a fire.
This is the scariest because it's the closest and was the largest one that's close. I know there's been bigger fires, but this one was, if the wind had been in the right direction, we'd be in trouble.
Investigators are still working to determine the cause. And our weather pattern is hot and dry for several more days, so we do have to be fire aware, especially after hearing that story. So joining me now, our senior meteorologist, Chris Bianchi. Hey, Chris.
Hey, and you know, one thing that was certainly a saving grace with that fire, the winds were light in the area of that fire, 10 to 20 miles an hour, but that fire started at a slope, and it's much more difficult to fight a fire when it's on a slope for obvious reasons. You're having to trudge up and downhill. It can travel, the fire can travel a bit more easily, but the saving grace with that fire yesterday was that winds were generally between about 10 and 15 miles an hour. So basically borderline no wind, a very light breeze, and that certainly helping out those firefighters. Burlington right now, clear skies. Here on the Eastern Plains and in Denver, same idea. Just a few fair weather clouds trying to bubble on up, right around 70 degrees already. Beautiful outside on this second Tuesday of the month of May. 60s, 70s, Northeast Plains, 80s, southeastern part of the state. Radar's quiet right now, but later today, we'll see a few clouds and showers develop this afternoon, and those will be mainly south and west of Denver. In Denver, we're going to generally stay dry this afternoon and tonight. The story, weather-wise, at least as we head over the next 12 hours, a few gusty showers and those warm temperatures. Tomorrow, though, even hotter, and our next meaningful chance for rain comes this weekend. I'm going to detail all that for you coming up in my full forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Chris, thank you. Prosecutors have charged the operator and another employee of the cargo ship that crashed into Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge in 2024. That crash caused the bridge to collapse and killed 6 construction workers who were on it. The National Transportation Safety Board found there were 2 electrical blackouts that disabled the controls of the huge cargo ship before it crashed into the bridge. Data stolen in last week's cyber attack that shut down the education platform Canvas has been returned. The hackers claim to have breached data from 275 million users, accessing usernames, email addresses, enrollment information, and messages. But the company says it received digital proof that the data has been deleted and customers would not be extorted. Access for Canvas users was fully restored about 24 hours after the hack. Well, a cow, yes, a cow was not where he was supposed to be this morning. Instead, he was trapped somewhere in some enclosed soccer field. So here's what happened. A man out for a walk around 7:30 this morning sent us these photos of the cow in Garfield Lake Park, which is around Arizona and Lowell. But police tell us that the animal had been spotted walking hours earlier, between 12:30 and 2 a.m. around Mississippi and Sheridan. That's about a mile and a half west of where it got trapped. The man told us police found the owner and it was put into a trailer and the cow was hauled away.